Hello everybody. This video will review and highlight certain sections of the syllabus. As you can see, I'm already there. This is our website, and I have clicked on the left side navigation panel on syllabus, which takes me to the actual syllabus itself. You see this information. Sucks. Hello everybody. This brief video will highlight the sections, so certain sections of the syllabus. But I still would ask you to thoroughly review the whole syllabus, even after you review the Hello, everybody. In this video, I will highlight some of the sections or some of the information, at least in some of the Hello, everybody. In this brief video, I will overview the syllabus and only highlighting certain parts of each section. So that means that I will ask you to still review the syllabus thoroughly after you view this video, so you can actually get the full picture. Hello, everybody. In this video, I will be reviewing the syllabus, but only highlighting certain parts of it. So I will still be asking you to thoroughly review the syllabus either before you watch the video or afterwards. Either way, it's fine. And then if you have any questions throughout, make a note of those and then send them to me via the inbox right there. In any case, you will see that the headings for the syllabus are in orange. So we'll be talking about the instructor information a little bit. Probably not talk too much about the course description nor the SLOs or student learning outcomes. I will talk a little bit about the course outline and topics for the class, something regarding the websites that we actually use, a little bit of the textbook, since I already sent you a video, an announcement with some of the information. I will not really, detail this here. Then I will talk a little bit about communication in the class, something about course assignments, the graded components, some course policies, some resources, the class calendar, and then finally some notes and something about, declaration statement and other things like that. You'll see what that means in a second. I think that's the last one, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to go all the way up and start with this. Notice that this class is 5 units. That basically means that it is 5 hours of time per week. So now this is actually a double time type of pacing because we're a late start class. So we have to double up those hours per week. So it will be 10 hours instead. Now this refers only to the class time essentially. And then normally the rule of thumb is about 2 hours per hour of class time. So basically you're talking about 30 hours per week between now and the end of the quarter. Obviously that's a little, there's a little bit of savings of time because we're doing this in compressing type of pace. And so I might suggest probably 20 to 25 hours per week minimum. Aside from that, you'll notice that I don't have actually office hours for the class physically, but there's a discussion thread in module 0 in modules, which will be underneath this link, that you can use for questions regarding the class as you move forward. Again, you can read about the course description on your own. Only thing I'll say is that this class is transferable to both UC and CSU. Learning outcomes, you can read that on your own. Course topics, there are basically 3 sections to the class. I call them parts. Part 1 culminates with the first midterm exam. It covers chapters 10 through 12. Midterm 2 covers 13 through 15, and the final exam includes also, the final exam covers the last 2 chapters, plus also still goes back and covers a little bit of theory from the first 2 parts. And there's also a paper project at the end. Here are the chapters themselves. Below, you got most of the coursework that we offer in the accounting department for 2019, 2020, I think is, it's still the same for 2020. I should change this over here. And so here, so you have some core courses, which you're in one of those at the moment. You can continue on and take other classes if you wish. There's different reasons why you would do that. Aside from that, you can read the rest of it on your own. We take this class using two websites. One is your Canvas site, which is the one you're on at the moment. And there's also my accounting lab. And by now, since you probably took the class at Foothill for Accounting 1A, you know what this means. But if not, you can read this section here and get more information. If you need more help, obviously use the office hours or the virtual office hours discussion thread that I just mentioned above. Textbook, by now you probably got several announcements or messages from me regarding the textbook. But basically, if you need a little more, or you need a refresher, or you didn't get the email, you can read this along with this section here that tells you what to do, including, and more relevant is actually this handout here. Communication, I'll just say very quickly, announcements is for, and this actually relates to this feature there. Announcements is my way to keep you up to date with the class every week. I do send several announcements almost every day, but definitely every week. Several of them, especially the one that comes at the beginning of each week, the agenda for the week, and then at the end to close the week on Fridays. Email, don't use email unless you cannot get into Canvas to use inbox. Okay, please. Questions you might have, there are different types of questions. If they're private, you can actually you should use inbox, which is right there. If they are not private, then you can actually use discussion forums. And that will be normally questions regarding the chapter topics or something related to the class administratively. I'll say always this, normally the turnaround time for me to respond to your questions, the standard is 24 to 48 hours. I normally much more responsive than that. It usually takes me a few hours to respond. Normally, I respond to inbox messages, once or twice or even 3 times a day, whereas the discussion forum posting is probably once a day, and at times, more often than that. The class runs from Monday through Friday officially, so 8 a.m. on Monday through about Friday at noon. That is the cutoff point. So beyond that, I will not be online, more likely. I will actually. I will come in and out throughout the weekend. But many times I'm doing that to kind of catch up with the class, to grade assignments, and to do other sort of administrative things behind the scenes. So again, think of that week as Monday through Friday. You're still gonna be able to work and submit assignments throughout the weekend. So that's still available to you. It's just that I won't be there to respond immediately. Let's see, what else could I say about this assignment. So there's several assignments, and here's a detail about each assignment, so you can actually read this as you need. But here is what they translate to in terms of grading. You've got essentially the initial orientation tasks. They are what I call check-ins. Every Tuesday they're due. Monday or Tuesday you can submit them. They're actually very, very simple. It takes you 5 seconds. You can read about them up in the upper section. Then you also have one posting per week per chapter. That's it. Very simple. But at least I want to get you into the discussions, which is the reason I do this. Reading checks that you read the sections. And in this case, there are 8 of them, 1 for each chapter. The 2 lowest scores will drop. So, you can miss up to 2, and there's no consequence in terms of your final grade. Similarly, with your homework, there are 6 of 8 homeworks. And again, you can drop 2, and nothing would, So obviously, use these low drops for situations where you are sick or the internet, breaks, something like that. Don't just miss things for other reasons. Okay. To the 2 midterm exams, the first one covers, as I said before, 10 to 12. Second one, 13 to 15. And by the way, I didn't mention this, but each of these has a number of graded points. This out of 100. So for example, the check-ins are 2% total. Each of them will be 33.33 points. So it's very small. In the case of participation postings, it will be 8% total divided by 8 postings. So you can see that's 1%. The reading checks is 12%. The homework assignments are actually 3% each. So 6 times 3, 18. Over here, 6 times 2 is 12. And then the midterm exams, which is where I reminded myself to talk about this. Each exam is 15%, so there will be 2 of them. That will be 30% total for your grade. And then finally, the final exam here, and then the total there will be 30%. In this class, there's not going to be a team project because of the compressed schedule. By the way, there's no extra credit unless I announce it later. But for now, don't count on extra credit. Here's the grading scale. Please go through that. Then there's some sort of course policies that I want you to look at, so please read that. The one thing that I want to mention here is that you can drop the class by the end of normally in 12-week quarters, you can drop the class without a W and get a refund by the end of the second week of the quarter. Now, in this case, we're compressed. So I am not sure whether it's the end of the first week or the end of the second week. So you can check that out with the college administration or the college website, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be end of the first week. Now, in terms of the withdrawal, normally it's 75% of the quarter, which usually means the 8th week of the class, end of the 8th week. In our case, I think it's going to be the end of the 4th week. So keep that in mind. And withdrawal means that you can take or drop the class. You still have a W. You don't get a refund, but at least you don't get the grade, which presumably will be a bad one at that point in time. Beyond that point, beyond the 4th week, the withdrawal deadline, you're not able to withdraw for no reason. Or neither can I do that as well. Keep that in mind. There will be, here's a section that gives you additional resources for the class. You should go through these. I think they're important to help you. Class calendar, as you notice, I do an embedded Google Sheet. I organize it by week. So week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4, week 5, and then week 6. How you read it is that the very first Monday of the week is actually dated. So, for example, the first week for this class will be week 1, Monday, February 17th. That will cover the orientation. It will also cover chapter 10. And what's due, it will be reading check 10, which is a little quiz, due on Thursday. Homework 10 for that same chapter will be due that same Sunday. And then the class participation posting will be due on that same Sunday. So that's how you read this calendar. Week 2 begins on the 24th. Chapter 11, RC or reading check number 11 is due the following Thursday. Homework 11 is due also the Thursday. Posting is due also Thursday. So you have the first part of the second week to finish chapter 11. Then chapter 12 is the rest of that week. All the items will be due on Sunday. And finally, for that same week, at the end of that same Sunday, your first exam is due. So in this case, it will be kind of tough, but it's been done. I've been doing this for forever, and it usually works. You just have to allocate the right time to the week, and then sort of coordinate your own work according to the schedule. So same thing with midterm number 2, and finally at the end will be the final exam. Any questions about this? You again place them in the office hours discussion in module 0. Let's see, here. Finally, here's some other notes that you can actually read. Here's one note about grade bump ups, and that's basically it. Notice that at the end there's actually another set of dates for assignments. Now, don't follow this. I mean, it's usually okay. But there's some instances where if I make a change because I want to extend something, this will not reflect the intent of that. So instead, always follow the class calendar. This will have the right information. let's see what else. That's it. So hopefully that explains some of the sections in the syllabus, plus also explains some items about how to navigate a little bit of the website. Take care, and I'm excited to see you in class at the beginning of this quarter. Take care. Bye-bye.